Good evening, everybody, and welcome to my little corner of the interwebs. Firmbie with you. Great to have your company. Thank you very much for dropping by. If you're watching this live, fantastic. Just say good day in the comments section. If you're watching this on the replay, then yeah, just let me know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, what you'd like to see, especially here in Car Mechanic. I haven't been in Car Mechanic for a little while now. We did a quick live stream 2 days ago. If you want to check that out, you'll find that on the channel as well as a whole bunch of other stuff of Car Mechanic 2015, 2018, some Astroneer, some live versions of Astroneer with a good mate of mine, BigShadows. Actually, his link's in the description as well. Some gaming from AG7. AG7, the gaming community they've been involved with for quite a while now. Links also in the description. Speaking of the description, if you want to be notified when I do go live, then by all means add me to Twitter. I often tweet out that I do go live. Look, that's all the housekeeping out the way. I think that's just about it. Let's get into game and see what we can do for this time around. So here we are in Car Mechanic. Let me get myself comfortable. Got myself a coffee and a cold drink. We should be just about set. Let's click on continue. Jeff's in the channel already. How you doing, brother? Good to have you drop by. It's 5:28 AM over here. Wow, that's awesome, man. What are you doing up at that time of morning? It's just on 9 PM here, local time here in Australia. I wouldn't be surprised if BigShadows calls in and says g'day. We actually are scheduled to do an Astroneer stream sometime this evening. But we'll see how that goes. So I thought I'd just pop this one in, pop this one out, I should say, while we're just on standby while we're doing that. Maybe we'll do some Astroneer. We might do some World of Warships, sort of see how we're feeling. Excellent. It's good that you're feeling good, man. That is awesome. As I was saying, if you aren't already, just add us to Twitter. Just actually, you might even got. Did you get the notification that I'm going live via Twitter? Just let me know in the comment section, man. If you're not, just or if you didn't, as they just add me to the Twitter there. So what do we feel like doing tonight? We want to do a repair, or we want let's pop over to the auction. Actually, better still. Car stripping. That's what I'm looking for. I don't know about you, but I'd pay $1,000 to go and see a stripper. What about yourself? Jeff saying we'll be back in about 5 minutes. No worries, man. Cheers for dropping by. I'd say 5:30 in the morning. You got morning things to do, so no, totally understand. Now the only problems about going to either the auction or the strippers is that these loading screens, unfortunately, are a little bit longer than I would like. But look, it is what it is. But as I said, you know, it does give us a chance to have a bit of a chat, and yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff on the channel there. If you like your gaming content, then go and check out what I got on the channel there. Now, for those who haven't seen this before, this is the strippers here in Car Mechanic 2015, and basically just come over here, and as the name suggests, you just take parts off the car, you strip it. It costs you $1,000 to come over here. As you can see, each part that you take off has a monetary value, and you can either use it as is, or do the parts up. I tend to do the parts up and use them sort of on other builds. So it's a fairly cheap way of actually getting your hands on some second-hand parts, to be honest. A lot of them will actually break if you try to repair them, but look, as you can see, money earned. We're actually, well, I mean, we spent $1,000, but we're down to minus 714. So, as a rule of thumb, it is worth doing because you tend to get your money back fairly easily. So, I mean, things like the battery there, that battery generally doesn't repair up very well. So. You probably just sell that off. This engine block there, engine block here, he should repair up quite nicely. They generally do. That's probably about it from this neck of the woods. I don't think there's any panels. I will take the trunk off. There's no bumper or lights to take off. Take the door off there. Windscreens don't come out at this point. I know, I'm pretty sure in 2018 the windows do come out, but in 15 they don't. So let's hoist our old girl up, and we'll start on these brake components, wheel components, that sort of nature. Look, let's start. It's as good a place to start as any. Brake calipers, brake pads, that sort of thing. The calipers have a fairly good hit rate these days of getting repaired up. Yeah, as you can see down the bottom right hand corner, it tells you if it's just junk, you'll just end up throwing all the junk away. But look, we're in positive money already, as you can see, and we've still got 62 parts left. So just goes to show that it is viable to put down the $1,000 to go over to the strippers, and especially early game, just to get some cash into the bank. Now we probably could take that out. Maybe we could reach. No, maybe not. Let's come over here and do these wheels. So it is, especially early game when you haven't got a lot of cash in the bank, certainly worth popping over the strippers and making yourself some quick dough. The other way of getting some dough is I said in the last stream, is to go to the auction and buy a junker and do him up. So, and the higher percentage you actually do the car up, then the higher rate of return, obviously, when you go to sell it. So I try to aim for 100% on the cars. Oops, what am I missing? There we go. Sway bar. Think about what you're doing, Firmbie. It'd be a great start. I try to do them up to 100%, so that again the return on your investment is a lot higher. Now I wonder whether we can reach that drive shaft from here. Now we can. Oh, I thought we could. Oh, there we go. Drive shaft. Click on that. Four buttons, 4 bolts down this end, just into the gearbox, and then another 4 bolts down at the rear axle there. So pretty straightforward to drop that shaft out. Let's get all these rear components out. Again, some of them will repair up, and I'll actually run through the repair of that once we get back to the garage. Normally there's a rubber busher in there, but he's not in there today. So these solid rear axles, they repair up quite nicely. Get a reasonable amount of money for that. Whoop, click on there, that'd be good. These U-bolts, there's 2 on each side, and then the spring plate. There we go, leaf spring plate there. They'll tend to do up fairly well. Now I wonder whether we can can't quite reach that fuel pump. What about now? No. Actually, trick to be able to reach that fuel pump is if you drop the car down, click on the there, and then you just get a top-down view of the fuel tank. And of course, when you get a top-down view of the fuel tank, you can reach the fuel pump quite easily. So, just a helpful hint for you. Just to make it easier, we'll pop the old girl back up in the air. 23 parts left, and we've got 1,800 in the bank already. So well and truly made our money on this strip down, and we haven't even looked at doing any of these parts up yet. As you can see the bottom right hand corner, the brake shoe, that was junk. We'll throw him out when we get back there. Just stripping down these parts fairly quickly now. What am I missing? Plate. There we go. Come out there. Now we should be able to drop that out. We do. And the muffler. What was that muffler going to give us? He might even be able to clean up. We'll see how that goes. What do we want to do? See whether we can get to that crankshaft. No, we won't be able to get the crankshaft out, you silly goose. We want to get the gearbox out first, don't we? There's a helpful hint right there. You're certainly not going to be able to get the crankshaft out with the gearbox still in. So, yeah, you want to spin around to that gearbox and get the clutch release and clutch plate off, and the pressure plate underneath that. Oh, there's a clutch plate, beg your pardon. Flywheel. And now that the flywheel's gone, we should be able to No, we need the pistons out first, don't we? But it just shows you how long since I've actually been in 2015. All of these I used to be able to do in the correct order, but if you're away from the game a little bit, then you tend to forget. Well, we've got 2 parts left. That makes sense. It should be the crankshaft and the engine block. Crankshaft done. Crankshaft is junk. Oh, well, it is what it is. And the last part remaining is in fact that engine block. So we'll pull him out like so. What's that going to give us? Engine block I4. So look, we're in 3K. And that's after the $1,000 of that we had to pay. So we should be able to go return to garage, and we'll look at those parts again. Some of them we should be able to repair up, and some of them we'll just throw away. Yummy coffee. So if you again, you must be into your gaming content. If you happen to drop by this my corner of the interwebs, by all means let me know in the comment section what sort of games you're into. Be fantastic to hear what you play. Whether it's look, you know, some of the games I'm into, whether it is in fact some of the games I'm into, whether it's World of Warships, Warplanes, Car Mechanic 2015 or 18. As I said, been away from 15 a little bit, and just sort of getting back into it. Just something to play, just to tide the time over. Now, silver recovered parts, keep parts. Now we want to actually keep the parts, don't we? Let's pop over to the repair table and see how much of this we can actually repair up. So this is in fact the noisy part of the stream. So bear with me while it crashes. You know, makes that funny noise when things break. There it is. I haven't been a big fan of that noise ever since the game came out, but look, it is what it is. Inventory, again, sorting by, not so much by arrival, but by condition. And by sorting it by condition, it gives you the lowest percentage at the top of your list, and of course it increases as it goes through. So we could keep these. Let's sell junk. Are you sure you want to sell the junk for $63? Yes, I am. So that quickly gets some of the junk parts out of your inventory. These ones that are sort of 20-30%. Look, what I'm going to do is actually sell all those off, just so that inventory only has. It's a bit noisy, wasn't it? So that inventory only has parts that are come up to the 100%. So as you saw, the bank balance did go up quite considerably by selling those off. So we well and truly made our money from doing that. So what are we thinking, guys? We want to take a job from the phone, or we want. Let's take a job from the phone until I hear otherwise from chat that you'd like to see something else. Then decline that one, decline that one, just so that we get some more interesting jobs pop up in our orders list. There we go. Echos Cobra. General engine control and repair, knocking noise from engine bay. That could be anything. Replace oil and filter, replace all filters, sloppy car steering, gearbox controls. That sounds like an interesting one there. Obviously, the more it has in the job description, the longer it's going to take, but the more money you're going to get. So, for brake performance and loud exhaust, let's take that job. Should be a fairly simple one. Brakes and exhaust system. And we'll wait until something half decent pops up in the on the phone orders there. If you want me to go over to back over to the strippers and show you that again, or if you'd like me to go over to the auction and buy a car, just let me know in the description, and we can do that as well. Now, what did we say? This will poor braking performance, loud exhaust. So anything to do with brakes and the exhaust. There's, I've mentioned this before, there's our minimum condition order at 83%, so that's actually quite important to remember. Just let me look over to the other screen there. So we can use parts in there, as long as they exceed the 83%, we are good to go. So because it's brakes and because it's exhaust systems, we could very simply just pop the car straight up in the air and get ripping straight onto those brakes and exhaust system components. Now, as you can see, just by looking through the rims there, and looking at the exhaust system there, it's fairly easy to see which parts are completely knackered. So we know that's in regards to brakes there, so anything in regards to brakes I tend to rip off fairly quickly. Oops. Now you could go through the trouble of actually testing these components, and if you wanted to, is examine. There we go. Now by examining that brake caliper, as you see the bottom left hand corner, that's at 92%, so that certainly exceeds our 83. So but look, it's going to have to come off anyway, because those brake shoes don't look too terrific. I'll take those straight off, and brake pads 26, so that certainly doesn't meet our expectation at all. So those calipers had to come off anyway. So you can go to the trouble of examining each part if you so wish, but sometimes it's just not necessary, either because you need to take that part off anyway, or you just know that it's going to need fixing. So look, while we're here, let's get these mufflers off. Middle muffler, that side middle muffler, that's our exhaust, and that rear muffler as well. That should be the last of the mufflers. Wouldn't be surprised if the exhaust manifold on the engine block needs to be taken off too. So we'll have a look at those once we get these brake components off. Like so, that brake disc is probably going to, let's take them off anyway. That brake disc is probably going to be fine. Brake disc 92, yeah, it is going to be fine, but again, we'll take it off anyway. Lower the oil go down, and let's look at those exhaust manifolds. Okay, exhaust manifolds. Top of the engine block, aren't they? There's one. Again, I'll run the examination tool over the other side here, and to give you an idea of how that works. Examine. Okay, exhaust manifold can be examined by taking off the car. So the examination tool won't work on that particular part, and that's quite common. But as you can see, it's old and rusty and daggy and just about knackered. I said knackered. YouTube, don't ban me. Accessory from underneath the car. Whoops, I need to take that exhaust component off as well. ABS module and the ABS pump behind it, again part of the brake system. So we know that it's brakes and exhaust components on this particular repair, so we need to take him off as well. And from here, spin around, we should be able to reach that front exhaust pipe. That should be all of all our parts. Now I've just jumped over to the information center, or information guide list, whatever you want to call it, and what I'm just confirming is that all these have these crosses next to the name. It just tells me that I've actually found and collected all those. Off to the repair table, and what did we say, 83%, so we want to repair as much as we can up to that 83%. So the wheels at 84, they're all fine. Okay, so it looks like we in fact got away with it fairly cheaply, to be honest. Let's go. Well, we don't want body, we want exhaust, don't we? Okay, so we need a complete exhaust system. Two middle mufflers and a catalytic converter to start off with. T for tablet. Exhaust, catalytic converter, and two middle mufflers. Let's start off with that. Two middles and a catalytic converter. Rear muffler for a V8. remuffler V8. Just a standard exhaust pipe. Now you could actually write that on one of those in the search bar at the top, but I mean we're actually in the exhaust section, so it doesn't take that long to scroll down to where we actually want it. Front exhaust pipe for a V8. Front exhaust pipe B. Front exhaust pipe for a V8. That's the one we want. Take the inventory, take that out. So that's all the exhaust. Now we're looking at brake components. So we want 4 pads. 4 pads and 2 calipers. 4 pads and a caliper. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a caliper. I actually needed a second caliper, didn't I? Didn't I? So we need another one of those. Back to the inventory, and 2 discs, 2 ventilated. 2 discs, 2 ventilated. And did I have enough pads? Let's buy some more, another set of pads just in case I didn't have enough. Inventory. Let's get rid of that. And that should, folks, should be enough. We don't have to do anything to the wheels because the lowest the wheels again is at 84, and our expectation on this particular build is at 83, so obviously exceeds it. So let's get into getting those parts back on, and we can smash this particular repair out fairly quickly. Just looking at getting those exhaust component, oops, on the right one, there we go, exhaust component there, middle muffler, exhaust, there's a rear muffler as well. I don't know whether I'll be able to reach, oh yeah, there we go, didn't think I was about to reach it from there. Whoops, there's a pole there. Might as well finish these wheel brake components and wheels while we've got the car in the air, and then we can look what we need to do there from after that. So wheel on that side, just spinning around the other side here and getting the wheel and brake components on this side as well. Brake pads, calipers. There was one of these calipers that what were they at 93%? We didn't have to do anything to it because again it exceeds our required 83% repair value. Last of the wheels going on now. The last of the brake components, then the wheels of course. The calipers over the top of the brake pad and the tyres on top of that. Like so. Lefty loosey, righty tighty of course. And what do we got left? ABS pump, and it would be the brake, the exhaust manifold as well. So we should be getting close to being done and dusted. So ABS over here, ABS pump module. I'm surprised they repaired up. You don't get those repaired up that often. So look, whether it's a random thing, whether it's a bit of a roll of the dice, or whether that's programmed to repair it, I'm not too sure. But look, I'll take it. If they're going to enable me to repair them up instead of buying brand new ones, then I'll take it every time. So getting the right hand side exhaust manifold bolted up like so. Now what am I missing? One of the exhaust components. Front exhaust pipe and the catalytic converter. Okay. From the bottom, I think. Let's see what we need. Oh yeah, got a bit missing there. We want to go assemble, and we're not going to reach it from there. Let's click on there. Sometimes it's just a matter of playing around with a camera angle so that you get the right angle of the dangle to insert this part. So that should be done and dusted. And the way you check is pop back to your order information. And this particular one obviously has only got the two areas, That once you click on that particular area, in this case the brake area, it not only give you green ticks down this side here, but once that section is done, it'll give you a green tick on the side here. Loud exhaust, again, green ticks along here, and to let us know that that section is finished, it gives us a green tick on the left hand side as well. All repaired up to a minimum repair value of 83%. There's the numbers there. Spent $3,302 on the job. Got 1,600 and change for completing the task. Again, for bonus for completing the task, so total earned is $6,604. So again, early game, if you're just starting into the game or just getting into it, then some of those repairs are very, very good value for money. It just takes you time to do it, and it doesn't take a lot of money to do it at all. You know, these smaller ones, brake performance, brake problems with exhaust problems, and that's what these pictures are representing here. And these more involved ones, you'd probably need your test path just over here. And even the paint shop as well. So especially when it says you know, one of the recommendations is to paint the car to factory colors. So I'm thinking we'll go pop over to the auction center and see whether we can't find a rust bucket over the auction center. What are you thinking, guys? We'll do that. Well, actually, I did a live stream yesterday or last night when I popped over the auction center. I actually bought it off camera, which saves a little bit of time, saves you looking at this these black screens of death. Well, I'll tell you what. Instead of you looking at it, I'll bring that up and you can look at me instead. I don't know what's more worse, looking at the black screen of death or look at my mug. But look, there you go. So as I was saying, I bought one off camera, and we smashed it out in probably a little over an hour and 20 minutes, something like that. So once you start to get a feel of what parts do break down and what the parts that you can keep, you can bash out a full restoration reasonably quickly. So let's pop back to the in-game view and see what we're coming up with now. The Mercedes-Benz 300 SL, we did that one last night, so we'll pop over to the next car and see what it actually produces. What we'll do is when the list comes back up is have a look what Delray Custom, Rhino Piccolo, Bentley T-Series are always interesting to have a bit of a play with. They were Bentleys. Sakura GD20's done quite a few of those. Bolthorn Grand Mojev. Delray, actually I might even go for this Delray Custom. I don't mind these, just the look of them. I actually seen one IRL probably a year and a half ago that had been done up to its immaculate condition. What did we get that for? 13.5. It's only a 1-star rating, so it's actually going to me quite a lot of a love. Now we've finished with the garage, and I'll just bring you over to that, but just so you're not looking at the black screen of death again. Yeah, the Delray Custom, beautiful looking car. And let's quit out of the auction while it's in its loading screen, so we can get back to the garage and make a start on that Delray Custom. So, as I was saying, is that I've seen it in real life at a wedding about a year and a half ago, and it looked absolutely superb. It really did. And I think at the time I was actually repairing a Delray Custom in game here, and I put the real life car next to the in-game car, and they've done a fantastic job at reproducing it in game. So well done, developers. A great job in implementing that car into the game. One of the DLCs they brought out a number of quite a while ago. I couldn't actually tell you what the date of the DLC was. Let's bring you back into the game. Yeah, I must admit they're pretty good. They've done a number of DLCs for 2015. Not for some time. Obviously, the main focus these days is on 2018. A lot of people have gone over to 2018. I did as well. Yeah, let's come back to 2015 just to just for shits and giggles, really. That's not what we want. We want that button there, don't we? Why can't I look at you? That's the one I'm looking for. Thank you very much. Okay, so some figures to note before we make a start on it. Delray Custom, name of it, of course. The parts condition 22%, very ordinary indeed. Body condition way below shabby. Body condition at 7%, so it's going to need some serious amount of love. A lot of parts missing. A car value of at just under 10 grand. And there's the names of the parts and its condition rating down the right hand side. I won't list all those off because that'll be boring as batshit, but as you can see, it needs a lot of love. So let's get a crack a lacking, and first thing I would do is take off all the outer components, body panels, that sort of thing, lights, bumpers, tail light, that can come off. I don't know why that tail light, that looks absolutely atrocious, that tail light, doesn't it? Tail light trunk we can come off, or if you're here in Australia, that's the boot. Now you may be wondering, I mean that's all the parts we're able to remove from the body itself, and of course we'll go over to the repair table in a moment and repair those parts up as much as we can. But you may be wondering, well, how are we going to repair the rest of this body? Well, I'm glad you asked. What we're able to do is these days go over to the repair body frame. This is basically oxyacetylene set here. Click on that. If you have multiple cars sitting in the garage there, you'd have obviously multiple sections. In this case, it's only the one car, so pretty easy. Do we want to repair the car's body frame for $1,899? Yes, we do. Gives you a bit of a terrible welding sort of sound, and as you can see, immaculate body. And if you wanted to, you can walk up to it and click on it. Body condition now 14%, because obviously we're still looking at repairing those other parts and buying the parts that we actually need. Now, a couple of them broke. Inventory again, always by condition, and didn't get many parts out of that. I didn't get many parts repairable out of that, so let's get rid of crap. We'll just keep that, you never know. And let's get, so front left door. Oh, we managed to fix that one up. There you go. Let's go this way. Hood, no, so Delray custom hood. Part shop. Delray custom hood. Left headlight. Right headlight. Front bumper, no. Delray custom front bumper. Front right fender. Oh, actually more. There's more than I thought repaired up, to be honest. Front right door, he repaired up as well. What about the trunk or the boot? Yep, he repaired. Rear bumper, no. So we're on Delray custom rear bumper. Delray custom rear bumper. Click on the right one to begin with. That'd be fantastic. Okay, rear tail light. We should have got that while we're over there. What side is it? Right. Rear Delray custom rear right tail light, and we want left one as well while we're here. Right tail light, left tail. Oh, there we go. We had a few of them. Oh, I did not know that. Now we should, in fact, have a body condition of 100%. There we go. So by taking all the panels off, going over to the repair station, repairing them up as much as you can, and then putting those parts back on, and then just purchasing the ones that you want. Also going over to here to repair the remainder of the body up. Now I'll just show you that quickly. If you are just getting into the game, or maybe midway through the game, it shows the importance of getting these repair tool levels done up to as much as you can. It is a fair grind, but it's certainly worth the effort. up to the 90%. So the 90% chance of repairing those parts. So obviously if you repair those parts, it just saves you from purchasing them, strangely enough. Bear with me one moment. Okay, so this is the part where we simply jump in, dive in, and take every single part out of the car and do exactly the same thing as we did on the body panels. Take it all off, repair what we can, and once it's repaired up, pop it back in. Might even go for performance parts this time. What do you think? You want performance parts on the Delray Custom? The Delray Custom actually does look pretty awesome once you put in some performance parts. It certainly looks very hot roddy, the one for a better word. But it is a fair effort to get that far. I think I got a couple of Delray. Let's have a look. I think I got a couple of Delray Customs in the parking. Let's see where we are. Oh, I thought I did. Delray Custom 1, that's in black. No, just the one. There you go, I thought I had a couple of those. But yeah, I have done the Delray Custom a number of times, either the for repairs. I've actually seen the Delray Custom in the strippers. That's interesting, now that I come to think of it. The only problem about the Delray Custom are these finicky little rocker arms and push rods. Oops. You seem to be doing this on and on and on and on and again for some reason, but look, no reward without effort, I suppose. That's the last of the push rods on there. That engine head, actually that engine head won't come out because we haven't taken these spark plugs out, have we? Spark plugs out first. Let's get rid of that battery out of our way. Why won't that come out? Exhaust manifold, that's why it's not coming out. Again, as you can see, it has been some time since I've been in 15. A lot of these, when I was playing it fairly regularly, you know, I was able to take them out fairly easily in the correct order. But if you're not taking them out in the correct order, then it will give you that stupid little gonk noise, and obviously that tells you, well, you can't do that particular move yet. You need to take something else out before you try to take the part out that you're currently working on. So fuel filter and some belts. Power steering. Now I know the power steering comes in a performance part, so again when we get to that section, remind me to put performance parts back in and not the same part. So just give me a reminder when we get to that section of it. Whether we get the whole thing finished in this particular stream remains to be seen. As I said, the idea was just to put a reasonably quick stream out this evening, just while we are waiting for a Big Shadow. If you're listening, Big Shadow, hopefully you've finished your din-dins. And we're actually planning to do a little bit of Astroneer streaming this evening, so we'll see how the night progresses. More than welcome to join us on Astroneer. Either if you've got Astroneer, certainly more than welcome to join us in game. If you want to do a bit of a searching in Astroneer, I think we're up to, actually we're probably not far off from leaving the planet that we're currently on. I'm just trying to remember what stage that particular version we're up to be honest, but I'm pretty sure we're getting very, very close from leaving the planet in Astroneer. So if you want to come planet hopping with us, you're more than welcome. Just hit us up on Steam and send us a friend request on Steam, and then we can get you into the same game when we do go live. So if that interests you, by all means hit us up. Speaking of being interested, if you're interested in knowing when I do go live, whether it's Karma Connect 2015, whether it's World of Warships or any of the other games that I play, then yeah, just add us on the on Twitter. Why can't I take that out? Oh, okay, because I need to take out those camshaft clamps. So I think that's all I can do from this section. Yep, well, I think we need to start taking off the wheels and brake components, that type of thing. So. Those retro you'll find once these retro wheels are done up, they do up really nicely. Those spoked whitewood tyres. These components off fairly smartly. Some of these, if they don't repair up, we're able to use some of the parts that we got from the strippers a moment ago. So if you remember, we went up to the strippers a moment ago, so those parts that were repaired up to 100%, we could even use on this particular build here too. What's missing? Is there a rubber bush? Oh no, in and out of tie rods. That'll do it every time. Rubber bushes over here, so let's get those off while I'm on this side. And oil filter, yes, I can take him out. Let's drop these mufflers here while I can reach them. Even reach that one. We'll get the other one. We'll get the other one from here. There you go. Do exactly the same on this side. Get those tyres off. Brake calipers and brakes. Brake pads. And the axle. Braking down fairly quickly there. As I was saying, these Delray customs do look really good, fully done up. Actually, what I could do is grab that Delray custom out of the garage and give you a before and after shot. Let's do that. Delray custom. There we go. Aren't they beautiful looking machines? So hopefully that one over there will look very similar to this. Once we'll, whether it'll be the same colour, whether it's going to be the same colour as this one, time will tell. But just let me know in the comment section what you think the colour should be. If you have a particular colour that you like, whether it's whatever colour, you let me know in the comment section, and I'll see if I'm able to read your comments before I get to the paint shop. Then I'll certainly oblige and do the colour that you request. But in the meantime, I'll power on with getting all these parts out for the restoration. Why won't that come out? There we go. Gotta take that out. Get in the oil pan. Now, a couple of ways we can go in regards to the oil pan. Either just drop the oil pan as is, or you can go over if you want to save yourself $100 and grab the oil drain. And if you're really clever, and you should be able to line it up so that when you take the I don't know whether that's going to line up. Let's come back just a smidgen. That's about a smidgen, isn't it? That looks to be about a smidgen. And take the drawer. Well, there we go, it does line up. So we just saved yourself $100 by lining that oil drain up and catching the oil as it comes out of the sump. If you don't manage to line it up correctly and it drains out on the floor, you do incur a $100 fee. Go figure. Tell you what, greenies are everywhere, I tell you. No, not even allowed to spend spill oil on the floor anymore without getting fined for it. Shavim, how you doing there, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for dropping by, man. Everything is great, man. Again, thanks for dropping by. Certainly do appreciate it. As I was just saying that, thought I'd just do a quick stream of Car Mechanic 2015. Because I haven't been in 2015 for some time, and really it's just biding my time to. I was looking at doing some Astroneer streaming with BigShadows a little bit later on, so he had some IRL stuff to do before we do that. So I thought, oh, I was sitting here. I thought, oh, well, look, what do I play? I thought, well, I haven't played 2015 for a little while. And I did a stream last night just for shits and gigs, just to see how it looked. You know, it looked okay. I thought, oh, look, while I'm waiting for Big Shadow to do the gear that he needs to do this evening, I'll get into 2015, and look, if you're in 2015, look, you might as well be streaming it and talk to the good people on the interweb. So here I am. So how's your day been? Been a good day? Now my day is well and truly over. It's been on 9:45 in the evening for me here in South Australia. Whoops, what am I missing? Rubbers. Oh, never forget about those rubbers, boys. Can't do much without those, especially a small rubber. Hashtag ladies. Okay, so let's get that off. Whenever I can reach that fuel tank. There you go. Fuel pump, rather. Well, timing issues actually. Morning are busy, so that's why I only come onto YouTube after 4 in the evening. Oh, okay. Sunday slept into 12:30. Wow, you're worse than I am. Actually, I won't judge that much because I had a bit of a sleep in myself. I was up until 4 AM my time this morning, and actually it was later than that because it was I know Big Shadow was streaming, and after his stream I did a couple of things before I went to bed, and the sun was just coming up as I was going to bed, so it was probably later than 4 AM now that I think about it. But needless to say that it was quite, well, when I say late, quite early. It was early in the morning, not late at night. So yeah, needless to say, I had a bit of a sleep in myself. So I'm certainly not going to judge you for sleeping in yourself. I feel your pain, man. Okay, now we should be able to get to clutch, or the gearbox slash clutch, I suppose. So Shavim, do you actually have Astroneer at all? Do you play, or have you played Astroneer at all? Because as I was saying, we'll be looking at, the idea is actually to stream some Astroneer sometime this evening. I think I need to get back into the get those cylinders, and from up here should be able to. There we go, pistons and the piston cylinders, piston thingies, pistons with conrods. You know, the uppy downy bits. How's that sound? Is that the names? That's the name I'm going to call them. Okay, now we'll back up and get that conrod out. Crankshaft, rather. That's crankshaft, camshaft from the engine bay. Okay, should have known that. There's a camshaft there, and the engine block, There we go. Thank you very much. Now, just to test whether we do have all the parts, so we haven't missed any. When we come back to this information sheet here, the parts condition sheet should in fact read 0, and it does, because obviously it doesn't see a part that's actually not in the car. So let's go for the repair table. And unfortunately, this is the noisy part, guys, so bear with me as we try to repair up as many of these parts as we can. So the noisy part is when the parts break, like that. So bear with me. You might have to turn your volume down a little bit if you don't like that breaky noise. I'm just looking at repairing as many of those parts up to 100% as we can. So just bear with me. So you do have the game, but have you lost interest in the game? you lose interest in the gameplay after some time. That's fair enough too. You're absolutely right. We played a fair bit of the old version, and when the update dropped, I thought myself and BigShadow thought we'd come in and try it out. And look, we're still enjoying the gameplay at the moment, but I think it's the type of game that you can't play continuously. It's one of those pick up and put down type of games. So I suppose what I was alluding to, if you are interested, then I think you added BigShadow on Steam. If you have, then you're more than welcome to drop on by while when we do go live. I don't know. They should have a story now. There should be wars or kind of situation. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Even have clones created as your own army in exchange for resources. Oh yeah, I can see what you're saying. Yeah, sort of have a you know, a base against base, and yeah, sort of Age of Empires ish sort of thing going along, where you can go out and conquer other. Perhaps not Age of Empires. Whoops, that's a dirty one. We don't want him there. But I know what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, that's what happens when you get distracted. I've actually started to put rusty parts back into the car, and I don't want to do that. We've actually there's none of those parts that can be repaired. So the next step is actually go to our inventory listed by condition, and start buying the parts that we need, because there's a big heap of parts, as you can see, that's going to need purchasing. So sort by condition we've done. Let's start with the body. So we want retro rims 12, 4 of those. Wheel shop, retro rim 12s. Classic. But I will go past them. That's what they're called, in the retro rims. Oh, it's probably not a performance part. Rim classic, rim modern, rim retro 12. There we go. I noticed BigShadow told me to hit him up on Steam. You'll do that soon. Awesome. Just got up after a 3-month holiday, and now it's 5 to 6 days a week of mad work. Oh, you poor critter. Yeah, I mean, the holidays are fantastic, but unfortunately, like all holidays, good things eventually come to an end. So, yes, the reality is that eventually we will need to go back to work. Sorry to hear that, but yeah, it's as I said, it's the reality, isn't it? It's a damn shame. Gearbox V8 OHV. Look, I reckon I should have some Gearbox V8 OHV. Yep, I've got one of those, so we can get rid of that. Drive shaft. Got a few of those. Let's get rid of that. Flywheel. As I'm just seeing what I've got left in stock, so I don't have to. So I don't keep buying the same parts that I've already got. Flywheel and clutch pressure plate. No, so flywheel and clutch pressure plate. Now I'm pretty sure they are performance parts, so let's have a look under gearbox, flywheel, clutch pressure plate, and look, we might as well get the clutch plate as well while we're here, so that we actually, I know we've got enough clutch plates, but there's our normal clutch plate there, but there's our performance part in the clutch plate. So if we're putting performance parts in, we'll make them all performance parts. So let's get rid of that. And clutch release bearing is what we're also after. Now that's not a performance part, so we want to click on the right one. Gearbox bearing. There we go. Gearbox. Did that not come up? Oh, there it is there. Okay. So that's gearbox done. Onto exhaust. Oh, okay, 2 middles and a rear muffler V8 OHV. Exhausts. Oh, performance parts for exhaust. Oh, one that's grown. There we go. What did I say I needed? I got a memory like a fish. 2 middle mufflers and 2 rear mufflers for a V8. 2 middles. Middle. And what was that on? Rear muffler. Rear muffler V8 OHV, 2 of those, wasn't it? Are you making a sleeper car or doing a custom order? This is actually a car that I purchased from the car auctions. You just go over here and click on the auction center. You pop over to the auction and you just have a bidding war. I've just taken one out of the parking bay just to give those viewers at home and yourself what they look like, what the custom Delray looks like fully restored. So we basically bought a junker and we're currently doing it up. Middle mufflers, middle, rear muffler, that one and that one. As you can see, I do like, as I purchase the part, I like just getting rid of them out of my inventory, so it just doesn't clog up your inventory, so you've got parts from you know, one side of the workshop to the other. Front exhaust pipe V8 OHV. Front exhaust pipe, there we go, front exhaust pipe V8 OHV, 2 of those, again in a performance part. So that's the exhaust done. Brakes, now we should have a metric shit ton of brake components. So brake calipers, I know we got heaps of those, there's 2 there. Oops. I only need 1, so that's fine. Brake servo and wheel cylinders. I don't think we had any wheel cylinders. Oh yes we do. So we don't need to purchase any of those. Brake servo, got a lot of those, don't need that. Brake shoe, got a lot of those, don't need that. Brake drums, got 2 of those, don't need to purchase those. Brake disc ventilated, don't have any. So I need 2 ventilated and 2 shoes. I don't think they are performance parts. Let's go into brakes. No. Okay, so we go back into brakes over here. What did I say? 2 pads, was it? 2 pads and a ventilated, yep. 2 pads and 2 ventilated. 2 pads, 2 ventilated. Get those out of the inventory. So that's all the brake components done. You might even be able to sell it for a profit, but decide when it comes to repairing parts or completely replacing them if you want to make a profit. Exactly right. Exactly right. When I do a restoration, I always restore up to 100%. You can put lower percentage parts back in, but of course you put lower percentage parts back in and your profit margins aren't as high. So when I do a full restoration, it's 100% parts all the way. And that's either after they've been repaired up the repair table, or you just buy the brand new parts. But either way, you're going to make some serious dollars or when you go to sell it. I would say would be selling this, considering I've already got this Delray custom already in the parking bay. But we'll see how we go. We'll do it all up. We'll give it a paint job. Look, Sam might even send it through the dyno as a paint shop. Maybe send it down a quarter mile, see what we can do. So look, we'll have this for a little while, and it gives us plenty. I'm still doing parts on it. It gives us plenty of time to work out what we're going to do with it once we've finished playing around with it. Gearbox we've done, exhaust we've done, brakes we've done. That was the 92% that we had left over. Let's get rid of that out of there just so it just cleans up a little bit. so I don't get confused and located. Running gear. Crazy, how you doing, man? Hey, thanks for dropping by. I certainly do appreciate your company, man. Fantastic that you took the time to drop by. I certainly do. And all you guys that have dropped by, Shavim certainly is a regular person that drops by either my channel, my streams, or BigShadows. Yeah, big shout out to Shavim. Crazy, you've been in for quite a number of times. That's awesome. Again, I could not do this, and I would not do it without your continued support. Just by popping in and saying g'day just shows me that people out there actually appreciate what you do, which is fantastic. So I cannot say that enough, guys. Anyway, so in regards to the running gear, for those who don't know, we do have a substantial list of running gear. Actually, it's not, the list is normally longer than that. Let's make it a little bit shorter. You can actually go rubber, and that'll actually shorten down the list. So what we've got: 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 large, and 4 small. That makes it easy. Running gear, rubber. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of each. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4 small rubbers. Running gear, what have we got next? Let's go tie. Just by putting in tie, it brings up all the inners and outer tie rods. So 2 inners and 2 outer tie rods. Pretty sure that they're not performance parts. No. Okay. Running gear, tie again. 2 inners, 2 outers. We could even go front and come up with all the front components. 2 springs, 2 caps, and 2 Bs. Two springs, 2 caps, and 2 Bs. Spring, cap, B. Front steering knuckle B. Now I've got a funny feeling we had some of those already. There we go. Front steering knuckle B. Already got one of those, so we don't need to purchase that. Front sway bar. I don't recall ever having a front sway bar. And let's just see what we have in regards to performance parts in regards to running gear. 3/5 of mouthful. Okay. I just didn't want to go too far without looking at what performance parts we're able to put on it, so I'm mindful that we want to put as many performance parts as we can on this particular build. So that's what I'm just trying to work out. Let's go to the inventory. I wanted, don't I? Front sway bar is the last component there for this section of the running gear, at least. So front sway bar, running gear. So I could just write the front there, and that should in fact shorten the list. Front sway bar B, front sway bar, there it is. And that's the idea. As I said, if you're able to make your search list a lot smaller, it just saves scrolling through the pages and pages of parts until you find the one that you're looking for. Crazy saying, nice to see you're still playing Car Mechanic 15. I'm still doing videos on this game. Oh, excellent. That's good to hear, man. There'll be a new episode upload soon. Oh, that's awesome. Look, guys, if you're either watching this live or watching on replay, certainly go and check out Crazy's channel. Does Car Mechanic 2015 content. Go and check him out. Show him some internet love. That'd be awesome. Tell Firmbie I sent you. What was the deal, Crazy? For every person I send you over there, that I send over there, you're going to buy me a beer? Was that the deal? No? Oh, okay. I reckon that's a fair deal. I suppose it means I need to come over to your neck of the woods to buy a beer, but but no, as I said, yeah, do go and check out Crazy's channel. Shavim, have you got anything to plug, mate? You got a YouTube channel, Twitch channel, anything like that you like to plug? Look, free feel free, guys, to plug your channel in the chat box. I have no objections whatsoever. If you've got a channel, YouTube channel, if you've got a Twitch stream, if you've got Snapchat, Facebook, look, whatever medium you're into, and you want to promote it, just chuck it in the chat, guys. I've got no objections whatsoever. Feel free. And that goes to for those who are watching it on replay. If you've got something to promote, just pop it in the comments section. I'm more than happy to give you a shout out, either live on stream or in the comment section. To me, that's really what it's all about. It's helping each other out and building a community that's prepared to help each other out. It just shits me to tears some people that get really nancy and finicky about, oh no, you can't promote yourself on my channel, I'm trying to promote. Oh, get over yourself. But as I said, that's how I see it. So if you want to promote yourself, go right ahead. Now I just sort of went off on a tangent there, didn't I? What am I trying to do here? Running gear, did we do it? No, we've still got a fair bit of running gear to go, haven't we? So bottom suspension arms, I think we got some of those already. Let's go bottom. Yes, we've got a metric shit ton of bottom suspension arms, so we actually don't need to buy any of those. Of course, I'll send them in the mail, he says. Shout out. Oh, look, that is my pleasure, man. Don't mention it. Please do promote yourself in the chat box. It's my pleasure. You guys have supported my channel, and you've come into and watched my videos on YouTube. You've just supported me on stream, on live. So this is the least I can do. So by all means, shout yourself out. Give yourself a bit of a plug in the comment section. Shavim saying, oh, sorry, I missed a comment there. You don't have that much kind of stuff. Never streamed anywhere a single time. Okay. Yeah, well, I was a bit hesitant about it myself, to be honest. I was thinking, well, who wants to look at this ugly mug? But apparently there are people that want to. So there you go. So I was very hesitant myself, needless to say. But I did say to myself, look, once I got to 100 subs, I'd seriously consider it. Reach that milestone, and I thought, look, I owe it to people that come on regularly, and I owe it to myself to do it. So I went out and bought a decent webcam, invested in some lighting. It wasn't a big outlay, but it was. I felt it was important to look at those, so that I produce as good a quality as I can. And that's what I did. Don't have much kind of stuff. Never streamed anywhere in a single time. You already read that. Job already too hectic, and honestly don't have the interest to watching and not streaming. Oh, sorry, I misread that. Have the interest in watching and not streaming. Totally understand, man. I was in the same place a while ago. I'd sit there and watch people's streams, but I wouldn't, and engage in their streams, but I wouldn't do it myself. So thank you very much for the offer. I really do appreciate it. No, not a problem at all. It's my pleasure. So look, how is this lighting? I did actually mention that went out and purchased some lights, just so that sort of this area is reasonably lit. Hopefully it's looking okay for you guys. Got some lighting in the background there, just to sort of give that a bit of an ambience too. I don't know whether I've done this before, but look, I'll turn these lights off that I've got on in the foreground, so sort of I'm illuminated, as today's word, and to give you a bit of a before and after look. That's what we started off with, to give you some idea. Well, I'm just looking over on my second monitor, just to see. It is quite dark. I'm in fair lot of shadow. But once I've put that fuel light on. Oh my God, words in English. And that main light on there. Hopefully, it should give us a fairly, taking out some of those harsh shadows for you. So, again, looking at making a better viewing experience for yourself. So, that was my ultimate aim. While I am chatting, I'll keep going on with these purchases. Push rods. I think there's 16, yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 16 push rods. Push rods. Now the push rods and rocket covers aren't performance parts. Actually, let's go all. It'll be because the performance parts are such a smaller list. We can very quickly scroll down. I don't think the rocket covers and push rods are performance parts from memory. There's our pistons. We'll need to get those later on. Spark plugs certainly are. No, push rods and rocket covers aren't. Lighting is great. Oh, thanks, Crazy. Certainly do appreciate it. As I said, I did play around with it a bit. Still, you know, this over here, still unconvinced. Look, if you want to chime in, still didn't buy those push rods, did I? If you want to chime in whether you like that up there or whether you don't, basically it's shelving there with a whole bunch of products on it that, you know, I can make that color into whatever I like. It's basically everything's traced with RGB, so I can make it flash and blink and twinkle and, you know, all sorts of colors of you know, fade in and fade out. So I can do sort of some briquette lighting effects, but I've just left it on a static color at this stage just so it wasn't too distracting. I think I miscounted. I reckon I got one too many. Doesn't matter. Let's get rid of these. Lighting is great. Your webcam is actually working good. Excellent. It's the blue from the Warship games that has the different colour. Okay, that's good to know. I wouldn't have actually thought of that, to be honest. It's the blue from the Warship game which has the little difficult colour. In the game, the webcam actually looks great. Okay. Oh, in this game, beg your pardon, the webcam looks great. I'm wondering whether that's not because I've only just recently... Look, I'll let the cat out of the bag. What I've done in the webcam was set up for default, on default settings, and I've actually told the camera to stream at 720 30 FPS. I thought that was more than enough for, you know, the thumbnail at 720 30. Even when I go big screen at 720, it still should be more than enough. So, and I don't think let's throw that up now. And as you can see, at 720 30 FPS, you know, the stream, you know, you shouldn't have to see any, you know, that should be fairly smooth as. So that should look pretty sharp. So if it looks sharp blowing up like that, then the when we go back to gameplay, you know, because it's such a small thumbnail, it should be relatively smooth. So I'm wondering whether, as I said, because I changed over the webcam to 730 FPS, that it looks pretty good. So well, hopefully it's looking good. Now, what I did notice is I just got a pop-up saying that BigShadows over on Astroneer. So how much more of this? We still got a fair bit to go, haven't we? Yeah, we have got a fair bit to go. We've been streaming for just over an hour, and we've still got a fair bit to go. So look, yeah, the blue. Oh, it's relaxing. You like the blue, calm, static light. It's a natural colour and it's relaxing. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for that input. Certainly do appreciate it. As I said, you know, you can make a blink. A blink. I'm sure blink is a colour. I was trying to say pink, green, blue. You know, the whole spectrum of the rainbow. You know, I can make it flash. I can make it blink. You know, as you can with, as I said, it's just a simple RGB strip. Where did we pick those up from? Oh, it was in Hong Kong. What was 4 months ago now? And yeah, just down in one of those marketplaces, and they had rolls of RGBs for, you know, 3/5 of bugger all, and yeah. So I bought a roll, and then that's what I did with it. Had to buy the proper 240 plug, of course. It had you know, the different plug size, but I mean that was like $3 or $4 at the post office. That was nothing. So yeah, for look, 10 or 12 Australian dollars, you know, I got some you know, pretty snazzy lighting. Plus it matches the t-shirt. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, this is I don't know whether I've showed you that before. This is actually the AG7 t-shirt. You've heard of us saying about AG7 before, the gaming community that we've been involved in for quite a number of years. I wonder if I go full screen, it'll actually pick it up. No, it doesn't. But anyway, I'll just stand up. I'll move back a bit. It's got a, well, there we go, AG7 logo on the over this side. AG7 on the logo on the front. You know, I'll just try to turn around. Got our names on the back. And everyone got those done up. We actually went over to PAX, the gaming conference over in Melbourne a couple of months ago. So we all got our AG7 shirts made up, so that with our names on the back, so that, you know, well, look, there's probably about 25 of us went over from the community, representing the gaming community. Maybe the blue light is around 60 Hertz. That's why it's showing the blue with their very little stutter. Very true. But that's actually one of the settings in the webcam. You can actually change the Hertz settings on the webcam to reduce that stutter. So I was actually quite mindful of that too. So I actually had to make sure that the webcam's set at 60 Hertz for that exact reason. So you're exactly right. I was quite mindful of that. Alright guys, look, I'm going to have to wind it up because I know that BigShadows over on Astroneer, and we did say we were going to stream some Astroneer this evening once he'd finished his real life stuff. I think he just had to go and feed his face, to be honest. But we won't tell him that. Guy, oh, there's Big Shadow there. Well, the colour of the cars is so loud it woke you up. Hey, Big Shadow, you just come up with you being in Astroneer. Are you still over there? Let me get back to the game cam. So we're about halfway to 60% through this restoration here, Big Shadow. But I was actually just doing it just to kill some time. As I was saying to the guys, is that like Crazy's here and Shavim's here as well. I'm just saying to the boys that I was just doing this, have a bit of a chat with them while we wait for you to do your IRL stuff, and it just come up as with a notification to say that you're already in Astroneer. So if you already are in Astroneer, I'm more than happy to wind this up and come and join you on TeamSpeak, and we'll get some Astroneer done if you like. No rush. No, that's fine. I mean, I've been on Car Mechanic. Let's just get this back into. Actually, we'll just track up this very, very quickly. We'll throw this in the dyno. Because I did say we were going to put this in the dyno once it's prepared up, but we'll certainly be doing that the next episode. But we'll jump into the dyno while with the one from the parking bay. Doesn't that just sound awesome? Just the sheer thumper of an engine. Back to garage. So we got 420 horsepower. Look, I won't mess around with the settings because I messed around with it last time and cranked it up as much as I could. So wrong button, idiot. And as you can see, I've actually sent it down a quarter mile in 12.5 seconds. So look, not the fastest thing on the street, but it's not too shabby nonetheless. So yeah, I'll just pop this back into the parking bay. Bing! You're out of here. And as I said, wind up the stream, and just so we're able to get over on the Astroneer. As I was saying, Big Shadows, that the idea was just to do Well, the originally was just do about half an hour of streaming of Car Mechanic just to fill in some time. I mean, I was sitting here anyway, and I was in Car Mechanic anyway. I thought I'll just stream it for the boys anyway. So, guys, I'm going to wind it up. Go and get ready so that we're able to stream some Astroneer. If you want to come and join us, I would say, oh, what are you thinking, Big Shadow? By the time we get our shit together, 20 minutes, something like that. But I mean, you'll see us pop up if you've joined our Twitters or Steam or something like that. Then you'll get a notification. If you want my Twitter account, the link's in the description. As is BigShadows YouTube. I know you boys have well and truly supported him as much as you support me, which is freaking awesome, and I certainly do appreciate it. Look, let's get over into Astroneer and do some streaming of that. Thank you very much for your company, guys. Certainly do appreciate it. And we'll see you in about 20 minutes over in Astroneer. Catch you then.